you follow my Instagram, in fact, any of the work that I do, and especially if you are a member of the Attachment Recovery Gym, you probably know by now that I talk a lot about daily habits. To be honest, I always have. From the moment I started my journey, I had this awareness that I had to look at how I spend each day. I had to look at my habits. I knew that if I wanted to go far, I knew if I wanted to change my life, that I had to look at how I spend each day. That's why this week I really want to share with you 3 habits that can help you to build your secure attachment. If you have an anxious and or avoidant attachment style and you are desperate to, keen to, interested in developing a secure attachment, I really do encourage you, speaking from experience, speaking from my training, I encourage you to look at your routines and habits, not in a rigid way, not in a critical way. That is not helpful. We're not looking at perfection or anything like that here. We're talking about this from a loving, compassionate, deserving way. Let me introduce myself as well. So I'm Carly Ann. I am an attachment coach and the founder of the Attachment Recovery Gym. That is an online membership for people that are doing the inner work on healing the past and becoming more secure. Something that I do want to say here is I'm going to give you an outline of these 3 habits, and I will give you some examples of how I help people with them. However, everyone is different. And what works for you can be different to someone else or is different to someone else. So I do encourage you to practice and experiment and find the more specific tools that you can enjoy and that will work with your life. So the first habit that I recommend and that I always will bring in to help people to become more secure is self-reflection. Self-reflection is to be able to look at what is happening internally for us when we are triggered, when we get a sudden rush of emotion, when we wake up in the morning. If we can reflect on our inner world, on our inner experience, we are more likely to make better choices for ourselves. We're more likely to respond instead of react and to understand what is driving us. It means that we can start to bring the unconscious to our conscious, and that's when we can start to really make change. There is no doubt that with insecure attachment, the ability to self-reflect on yourself can be really, really difficult. It might be because you numb how you feel. It might be because you are more focused on someone else and making other people happy and their needs than yourselves. But there tends to be quite a disconnection from knowing how you feel. So learning to reflect, learning to be able to say, I've really noticed that I actually feel this way, or that I like this, or that isn't working for me, is so, so powerful. There is a worksheet inside the Attachment Recovery Gym. It's the 5 prompts. I actually give it to all of my clients. It's a way to begin exploring your triggers, exploring the cycles that you know aren't working for you. When you start to use that, you're going to uncover changes that you need to make and drives that are happening in the moments that just aren't serving you. Habits for self-reflecting can include keeping a diary, checking in with yourself a few times a day, journaling. I would say like a few times a day, you really want to be just looking at how you feel, what you're thinking, what you're experiencing. That's definitely how I started off. I remember 3 times a day, just checking in with myself. Like, what am I experiencing? Like a whole body approach. The next habit is around introducing slowness to your day. Inside the Attachment Recovery Gym, we have a daily class each weekday. It's just 15 minutes and it is around reflecting. It's around looking inwards. It's around looking at what could potentially set us back that day and what could help us have a better day, all of those things. At the end of that, I always say to people, and I wish you a slow day, slower thinking, slower walking, like noticing nature more. We know, there's no denying that we know that slowness heals our nervous system. Slowness is really what we need. So when you have that sense of urgency, when you're really worried and really panicked and you feel like you need to speed up and you feel like you need to do more, we actually know that that is the sign that we need to slow down. So slowness might look like a mindful walk each day. It might look like some yoga. It might look like meditation. It doesn't have to be something like a huge amount of time, but it's something that introduces the idea of you slowing down. That can be like torture for some people. When you're used to living under threat, when you're used to living in fight or flight, I know how it can feel to slow down. However, it is needed if you're serious about becoming secure. The third habit is for you to begin meeting your needs each day. You can really link this into the first habit of self-reflection, but you need to be having some kind of routine, something where it is for you and you are meeting a need. Now, maybe that is making sure that you have breakfast. Maybe it's making sure that you have a lunch break. Maybe it's making sure that you exercise. Maybe it's making sure that you take a rest. I'm not sure. You're going to know that. You possibly struggle with sticking to habits and showing up for yourself and doing the things that you say that you're going to do. You possibly struggle with meeting your own needs. And so when it comes to developing this habit, it is things like eating when you're hungry, sleeping when you're tired, going to the toilet when you need the toilet. You don't need to put these things off because you have an email to send or someone else to please. So a habit where you're meeting your own needs is going to be really key. If you introduce these 3 habits to your day, you are going to begin to see a difference in how you react, in how secure you feel. So like I say, although you're going to need to find the tools that work for you, which by the way, there are plenty of them inside the Attachment Recovery Gym, I have given you 3 themes that I really, really encourage you to look at your life and just see, am I prioritizing these? So to recap, that is a habit around self-reflecting, slowness, and meeting your own needs. If you have found this useful, I do want to let you know a bit more about the Attachment Recovery Gym. The Attachment Recovery Gym is an online membership that supports you to get in touch with and exercise your most secure self. You can join this community when you have reached the point where you know so much of the information, yet being able to change and put that into practice is really difficult. You see yourself defaulting back to old, painful patterns. It's an online membership space where you can take everything that you've been learning, that includes all of the things that I'm talking about in this video and my other videos and on my Instagram. You can take all of that and you can put it into practice. If you have a reoccurring relationship issue or a specific trigger where you feel stuck, then fear not. The Attachment Recovery Gym marries 3 core components that are going to support you to be able to change and self-soothe in the moment. That is community, accountability, and education. When you become a member of the Attachment Recovery Gym today, you get immediate access to a library of resources and a schedule of classes that strengthen your secure self, just like you were working on your physical health, because that's something that I believe is really important. Make sure that you let me know which habits you're going to be introducing into your daily life. I want to hear those details, so do get in touch, and I will see you again soon.